April 8. 431 B.C. A body of 300 the Bens surprised the town of Plata, in Greece, in the dead of night, and were all destroyed or captured by the inhabitants. 46. Battle of Phasis, in Africa. Scipio and Juba defeated by Julius Czar. 217. Caracalla, the Roman emperor, assassinated at Edessa. 1341. Petrarch crowned with laurels at Rome, with great pomp. This distinction was awarded him on the appearance of his Latin poem entitled Africa, in which he celebrates Scipio, his favorite hero. This poem he considered his best, yet it was never finished. His reputation now rests as a poet, on his Italian poems. 1364. John I, King of France, died. He was taken by Edward III at the Battle of Poitiers, and conducted to England, where he was retained in captivity 4 years. He returned from France in 1363, which he had visited on parole, and died at his palace in London, aged 45, after a reign of 14 years, which had been extremely calamitous to France. 1492. Lorenzo de' Medicis, surnamed the Great, and the father of letters, died at Florence. He was a great merchant, and an eminent statesman, whose public services so recommended him to the Florentines that he was declared chief of the Republic, and whose wisdom and judgment were so conspicuous, that foreign princes made him the arbiter of their differences. 1546. The Council of Trent declared against the Lutheran system, and adopted a Latin or Vulgate translation of the Bible by Saint Jerome. 1663. The first playbill issued from Drury Lane Theatre. The play was advertised to be acted by His Majesty's Company of Comedians, and was entitled Ohmavravs, Lieutenant, and was to commence at 3 o'clock precisely. 1679. Bosia, a village near Piedmont, in Italy, suddenly sunk into the earth, by which about 200 persons perished. 1702. Thomas Gale, an English divine, died. Though engaged the best part of his life in active and laborious employments, he yet found much time to devote to literature and classical learning. His publications are numerous and display great ability. 1704. Job Ludolphus, a German linguist, died, aged 80. He was one of the most eminent Orientalists of his time, and the first European who acquired the Ethiopic language, of which he published a grammar and dictionary, and a history of the country. He was well versed in 25 languages. 1704. Henry Sidney, Earl of Romney, died. He was brother to the famous Algernon Sidney, and an accomplished statesman. 1731. Elizabeth Cromwell, granddaughter of the Lord Protector of England, Oliver Cromwell, died at Bedford Row in her 82nd year. 1735. Francis Leopold Radziecki, Prince of Transylvania, died. He wrote an interesting memoir on the revolutions in Hungary. 1793. Edmund C. Genet, First Minister from the French Republic to the United States, arrived at Charleston. He was superseded by Fawcett at the request of Washington. The next year, 1801, the French surrendered Rosetta, in Egypt, to the British troops under Col. Spencer. 1803, Louis Frédéric Antoine Arbogast, a French mathematician, died. He was a member of the National Convention, but appears not to have taken any active part in politics, his name appearing only to some report on scientific subjects. His works place his name high among the distinguished men of the day. His character was blameless. 1806. Herring, aged 60, and his wife, executed at Newgate, London, for coining money. 1808. County of Cortlandt in New York State erected. 1811. First law passed by the New York legislature respecting the Erie Canal. 1812. Louisiana became a member of the United States Confederacy. 1821. Simon Assamani, one of the most learned of Maronites in modern times, died at Padua, where he had long been a professor. His explanation of the Arabian antiquities is much esteemed. 1832. Robert Simpson died at Montreal, aged 101. He was at the attack on Quebec under Wolfe. 1835. Mr. Clayton, an American runner-up, made an ascension at Cincinnati, which proved an extraordinary affair. The spot at which he came to the earth was on Stevenson's Knob, a mountain in Virginia, 3,000 feet above the level of the sea, and 350 miles from Cincinnati, which distance he was wafted in 9.5 hours. 1835. William von Humboldt, a distinguished philologist, died, near Berlin, Prussia. He was elder brother of the celebrated traveler of that name, and distinguished as a statesman and a scholar. 1838. John, a Negro, drowned at Washington, aged 115. 1854. An explosion on the steamboat Gazelle, at Kane-Ma, Oregon, destroyed the boat and killed 21 persons. 1854. A fire at Salonika, in Greece, destroyed 600 houses and warehouses. 1854. The Ganges Canal, a work of vast magnitude, was opened by the Lieutenant Governor of Agra, with great ceremony and the display of troops.